Chapter 7, Crisis Core Reunion. We're back in the slums. This is our hard walkthrough, no items, various other things going on. Hopefully you're familiar. If you're not, you're fucked. I'm fucked now because I just swore twice at the start of the video, but it's okay, it's not making me any money anyway. Oh, I'm a failure, mum. I'm sorry. Anyhow, we're moving through Midgar, moving through the slums, moving from the mighty Ares, or Aerith, depending on what region you had. And we're taking on a couple of the, is it gun bull heads? This enemy's kind of cool because if you attack it directly on, it blocks you. And it doesn't just block you with diminished returns, it blocks you with complete immunity. Very powerful block that creature has. But this sequence now, we have to build a flower wagon for our lady. And I got lost here on my stream and I got really salty at this part of the game because it comes out of nowhere and it's nothing like anything else in the game except for the previous moment that got me salty, which was when you're chasing after the child that robs you. And all I wanted to do was cut his fucking hands off, but the game doesn't let you do that because we're not quite there yet with technology. So this level is the same conceit. Run around until you talk to people that have orange on them, and then eventually you'll trigger things like picking up this wood here, and then that will lead you to choosing 7th Heaven as a reference to Tifa's Bar, and then you will hopefully trigger where you need to be with the diamond that'll tell you where you need to go. And if you watch this video, you'll get a decent idea of what you're doing, but it is quite hard to get lost in this game. The area that I got lost in is my stream chat. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, I didn't get lost. I was led astray by the evil people in my stream chat. They told me, the geniuses that they were, that you had to do the spy mission to get parts for Ares' wagon. And the spy mission is not mandatory, sadly. So I went on an adventure trying to find these spies, and I was getting really, really annoyed at it. And bless them, my stream chat did try to guide me and everything, but we were doing something we didn't need to do. And when I moved away from it and I ran back down towards where Ares was, I looked out and the rest of the game continued. But it's just one of those things, isn't it? Sometimes when a game becomes vague, you can start doing a bunch of bullshit that's completely unnecessary in hopes that it's going to trigger what you need to do. And of course, if you speedrun this game, or if you know this game really well, you probably know exactly all the triggers that you need to hit here. But fundamentally, there's a couple of main ones that you choose, and it precedes the game, and then when you go back, you can give them to Aerith, and you can move on and move to Nibelheim. And then when you go there, the game escalates and it gets considerably more difficult. Because this is a pretty short level as well, with some navigation going on here. And then the level after this is going to be a lot of fighting. And then it's pretty much going to be a lot of fighting until we get to the final boss. But the cool thing about this game is there are so many submissions to do. This game seems to have been designed around the idea of you being on public transport, and you pull your PSP out and you play like one or two of those short missions for a few minutes, and then you put it away, you know? It seems like the ultimate travel companion, and it might not translate the best to home use on a console or on a port like this, but because the core of the parts and the components that come together for you to engage with, because they're all so strong, it's fun, you know? And I like this kind of bite-sized delivery system too, because it means you can start it, you can do it, and then when you get distracted or interrupted, as you always do, this is reality, shit gets in the way, you can just drop it and go and do something. More games should be designed like this, I think, and I love the idea of being short, concise, but dense with what is meaningful. I think that's a philosophy of game design that the West has kind of forgotten about. They seem so fixated on dick length, size of their game, hours to completion, large numbers. Like, you know when games come out and they tell you how big their landmass is, how big their world is? All I think of is how empty and boring their fucking experience is going to be. And I don't like that. I want things to be cohesive, I want them to be designed, I want it to be taught, I want them to trim the fat. Think about Arkham, think about the island, the prison. Then think about, like, Ghost Recon Wildlands. 9,000 kilometers of Bolivia and no one fucking cares. That's not how you make compelling games. Thank you for watching. You take care now.